Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Handmade Shop Podcast. This is our first episode of the year, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, but we're doing it in a way that skips the pressure and actually feels good for a change. So, we're going to talk about goal setting for 2026. If you are already feeling that new year transition kind of heaviness, or for me, sometimes I get a lot of anxiety around making sure the plan is perfect and all of that stuff, or even like you should be setting a really big, exciting goal for your shop, but you're also kind of tired, you're definitely not alone. This is the time of year where a lot of Etsy sellers will fall into one of two camps. So either you are totally unmotivated, like you do not even want to look at your stats yet or dive into what you could be doing in 2026. Or on the other hand, you go into full on planning mode with this 12-page list of goals that you are going to get to in January right away. And neither one really works, right? Because they both leave you anxious and stressed out. And even if you're somebody who is really diving into the goal planning, it doesn't mean you're going to stick with it. So in this episode, I want to walk you through a really simple, personal, completely doable way to set goals for your Etsy shop this year without the overwhelm. And we are going to start by talking about what actually matters the most. So let's talk about revenue goals. I want to start here because a lot of sellers will avoid setting a revenue goal. And it's not because you don't care about money, but it's because of all the things associated with setting that goal. So you might be thinking, if I set a big goal and I don't hit it, I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel like I messed up, or I never hit my goals anyway. Or if I don't grow this year, I'm going to be so disappointed in myself. Like there's so many things that prevent sellers from setting a revenue goal. And so instead, what people tend to do is set really vague goals. Like I want to be more consistent, or I want to get more traffic, or I want to get more sales. But you cannot build a strategy that way. And more importantly, you deserve to be really clear and say out loud what you actually want. If you want to make 30K this year, 100K, whatever it is, if you want to go full time in your business, I want you to say that out loud. I want you to claim it, and not from a sense of you're going to hustle your way there, but because that really gives you direction into your actions and what you should be doing this year. It tells you what kind of products you need, how much you need to charge, what type of work that you need to do, how many orders your system can support the way you're set up now. And a revenue goal is really like the anchor that makes all of that planning and all of that strategy easier. So if you are thinking, okay, maybe I do want to set a really big revenue goal, I want to tell you that that is okay too. You are allowed to dream really big, even if you feel like it doesn't make sense for your business. You are allowed to want a 6-figure year, or to finally hire help, or to double your revenue from last year. But you shouldn't ever feel pressured to set that big goal just because somebody else told you to. And I'm going to be really honest with you here and why I talk about this so much, because for years I told myself I wanted $1 million business. It was this shiny thing. I thought it would make me feel successful. It was the ultimate goal. It was what all the cool kids were doing. Everybody wanted $1 million business, and it was this hustle culture. But when I got to that 400 or 500K range in my business, I realized I actually had zero interest in doing what it would take for that business to hit $1 million. Like the extra hours, the team, the pressure just wasn't aligned with the life that I actually wanted. That business could not work for me and how I wanted to live. So I stopped chasing that goal that just did not fit me anymore. I built something that better did. And that's what I want for you too, no matter what your goals are. Set a goal that fits your real life and give yourself permission to figure out what that would look like for you and to change the goal later if that makes sense for you. You do not have to pick the version of your goals that somebody else thinks you should want. So here's what I do when I'm setting goals in my own business and what I walk my clients and my students through every single year. I do want you to start with a revenue goal. And this is because a lot of people will set a sales goal or an orders goal. You might say, I want 100 orders. But if you get 100 orders for $2 versus if you get 100 orders that are very big average order values, that looks very different for your business. It feels very different for your business. It has very different results for your business. So how you're going to do this is look at your expenses and also think about what would be fun to make this year. So me personally, I check in with how much I want to work, what kind of energy I have, and set a number based off that. Next, I want you to break it down by quarter. So divide that number into 4 quarters. They will not be even. That's how product business works. That's okay. But you want to ask what it would take after you do that to hit that quarter's goal. So for example, you might be, if your product is giftable, somebody who makes 50% of their revenue in quarter 4. So account for that and figure out what it's going to take to hit that goal in that quarter. You might need new products. You might need a keyword refresh. You might need some conversion check-ins. It all depends on what your shop personally needs to hit that goal, 1 quarter at a time. And then you're going to match that strategy to the season on the calendar for your business and for your personal life. So what can you realistically work on in the spring versus the fall? I want to give you a really good example. Inventory. If you have to set up an inventory system, it's probably going to take you some time, and it's probably going to not be something you want to cram into a really busy holiday season. So maybe you have less orders naturally in the summer, you have a little more free time. Do it then. Put things in to your schedule in a way that really makes sense for your calendar, both personally and professionally. You want to check in with what resources you have and what you really want to protect as you grow. So something I wish I would have protected as I grew a little bit more were my hobbies, and specifically hobbies that you don't monetize. I really got away from reading and doing things that I love as my business was growing. I wish I would have protected that a bit more. Hopefully after that, you have your revenue goal set. It literally could be, hey, $10,000 seems fun. It doesn't have to be any deeper than that. If you want more support kind of walking through this process with me, I do want to let you know I have something really exciting coming up. My next live masterclass is happening January 13th, and it's called Daily Sales on Etsy Without Ads. So in the class, you're going to learn why most sellers mistakenly think they do need ads and why that belief is holding you back. You're going to learn 3 really clear, actionable strategies to grow your visibility and sales using Etsy's free search traffic, and how you can apply all of this over the next 6 months to build consistent sales with a sustainable plan. So if that's the kind of support, the kind of structure you want heading into January, I want to make sure you sign up now. The link is sarahjwagner.com/free class. It's also waiting for you in the description of this episode, so you can check that out. Okay, just a few final thoughts before we end for today. I just want to remind you, you do not have to set a million goals, right? 1 is fine. You do not need a beautiful color-coded planner. Listen, I'm a planner girly. I have the new markers this year. They're sitting over here off my desk, right? I have the big calendar on my wall. I love to color code. You don't need all that stuff if you don't want to do that. You just need a clear strategy and permission really to build a business that fits you and how you want to live your life. And you need that plan to feel calm and doable. So here is your challenge for this week. I want you to pick just one number. I want you to pick your revenue goal, break it down by quarter, and then choose one thing to focus on for quarter 1 to move you closer to that goal. And that's it. I want you to keep it simple, my friend. And with that, thanks so much for watching this week. I'm super excited to see you at my live masterclass that's coming up. So make sure you go save your seat. We're going to have plenty of time for Q&A. So if you have questions about setting your goals after you've gone through this, make sure that you save your seat and join, because we will have time to chat about it in that class. See you there.